everybody for joining me. For whoever is joining me, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chiko and today I just wanted to discuss my own personal experience with fibromyalgia. So the heading I put on my video is called Faces of Fibromyalgia. I was thinking, especially today, it's gloomy, and yesterday it was sunny, so that makes a difference for anybody who experiences fibromyalgia. But before I even go on, when you do connect with me, whether it's live on replay, do feel free to say hello, leave a comment, and also let me know where you're checking in from. That usually helps me to know who I'm connecting with across. So I'm checking in from the UK, and the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is fibromyalgia has different faces, and I was thinking about, because I'm a lifestyle business coach and also a digital marketing strategist, and I was thinking about how challenging it can be to have this condition, especially if you're going through this experience. You probably might resonate. And I was thinking about other people, what they must be experiencing if they were living a different lifestyle as mine. For example, like I used to work like in a 9 to 5, and I made a conscious decision that I was no longer going to work, and a conscious decision in a sense that I wasn't well. My condition was critical at the time, and that conscious decision was also to say that during my sick period, realistically in my mind, I wanted to have a better lifestyle. I didn't want to have a lifestyle where I was going into work and then feeling burnt out and not actually experiencing a life as such. Okay, so fibromyalgia, for those who don't know, basically what it is, it's a musculoskeletal widespread pain condition. So it's a chronic pain condition that affects everything, the whole body. And it's also, the way I can best explain it, other people explain it in different ways. The way I can explain it as well is your brain miscommunicating the threshold of pain levels, the threshold of like things that you eat as well, and threshold of temperature. So there's so many like triggers that cause chronic fatigue syndrome as a symptom, as well as chronic pain, which is musculoskeletal. So you feel it all over like the body. So yesterday I was like celebrating, and I was thinking, yes, um, that's another thing is with fibromyalgia, psychological. So the many faces of it is the psychological impact. And in terms of anybody who might be facing a challenge, it's almost like playing a game of mind over matter every single day, propelling yourself forward and fighting against something that at times feels stronger than you. So if you're in this stage, because yesterday I was feeling like ecstatic, I was feeling like great. I felt energized because it was like sunny. I also felt, not, you never feel like 100%. I was diagnosed in 2016. So I woke up, the day I woke up with the symptoms, I never recovered. So it's like you have the flu and you never recover from it. And then on top of that, you have the chronic fatigue, you have the chronic pain, and then you have the mind, in terms of memory issues. Then you also have to cope with dealing with pain in terms of mentally, and also the what we call brain fog. So you have to deal with overcoming those challenges every single day. So it's a battle, in a sense that when we had normal lives, or when I had a normal life, there's certain things that I actually didn't think about. like my body. I never thought for a second about thinking about how to pace myself and not to overdo things. So you're always constantly planning your lifestyle so that you don't overdo it, you don't over push yourself, because then there's no reward. You end up either like in bed like the whole week. You can't fully function. So from going from a person who used to be, let me say, I used to work in a fast-paced environment. I used to thrive in that environment, and I also used to be somebody who, I still am those personalities, and also somebody who's like very tidy. And to let go of being in a fast-paced mode was a challenge. To let go of wanting to go and jog every day because your body has changed in terms of physically you don't have that ability anymore was a challenge. So I felt initially like things were being taken away from me, and it felt like a grieving process. So flash forward to today, the difference is there's certain things that I no longer cry for because I've accepted things as they are, but there's still tinges of, this is where I was reflecting on, that you can never be happy all the time. But then it's also about when you are in those moments, not hanging on to them like the sadness or the unhappiness for a very prolonged period, so that you can still continue to live your life. So for example, like how I was mentioning that yesterday I was feeling great and today I've been woken up because it's damp and it's cloudy. That also impacts on the physical ability. So my feet are very sore, my legs are sore, and my hands are sore as well. So I have to navigate through the day with this and still deal with the pain. So sometimes the pain, when it's very severe, then it also hits the emotional aspects. It makes you feel emotional, so it makes you feel I think some people also experience depression. That can be an impact because your mind and your body is adjusting to a new life, and having to accept that you have to live through pain and you have to live through the daily challenges, which is not easy as well. So this is why I wanted to bring up like this topic about the many faces of it, because with fibromyalgia, it has many faces. Today, this is me. This is me. I still I still have kept my character. My personality is still there, but there's certain things that have been limited. So in terms of like my social mobility, networking, or meeting friends as spontaneously as I used to do before, it's that's very limited now. I have to think more consciously about it. So in terms of my friends, then I'm presenting with a different face, although my personality is still there because I don't have that same of ability anymore. So if you are in this space, some part of it is also about letting go of some friendships. Some of the two friendships will still be there. They'll still be there to support you. Then that's when you know that they're not seasonal friends, and these are friends that are there to stay. And then also another, I guess I've been giving advice as I go along. The other thing I think I'd like to say is for anybody else that is supporting somebody with fibromyalgia, chronic pain, or any form of chronic fatigue syndrome, is to have patience. Is to have patience, and also to validate that person's experience, your loved one's experience, to acknowledge that it is real, because many people experience it, to support them as much as possible. Then that also eases their mental health. It doesn't, I'd say, make it worse, because the condition itself, if you do not have the ability to support yourself, then it can impact your mental health condition. So for you, if you're experiencing chronic pain, fibromyalgia, or any similar related condition, the tips that I'll leave you with today as I continue to talk and talk is look after yourself, your well-being. Try and rest as much as possible. I mentioned in the beginning that I made a conscious decision to not work full-time because I knew I want to have a better lifestyle. So you might need to make those decisions for yourself, because I knew that by working, although I did enjoy it, I wouldn't be able to be at my best. So I'd be losing out on certain things. I wouldn't have a personal lifestyle. So work wouldn't be that meaningful for me. So I know other people who are in this situation where they're still working even part-time and they struggle a lot. And I also wanted to have a long-term good health, although it's not 100%, but it's to have it in control, to be in control of the decisions I make according to my health. So those are some of the decisions you may need to make. I felt cheated, like although I wanted to transition eventually to start my own business, I felt like the condition impacted me a little bit earlier in life, so I didn't have time to plan. And I also felt like I was not left with an option or a choice when the condition impacted me. But now I have a completely different outlook. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying that, you might feel like that, you might feel like you have no option, but there's always options. There's always something that's an alternative to help you to alleviate some of your symptoms so that you can still be able to have a better lifestyle. So that's what I found useful, is that now I am able to find opportunities from home that helps me with my condition. And then also I found integrated medical care, which has been beneficial. It's helped me to manage overall my health, and also to minimize to take homeopathy medication and to minimize chemicalized medication, if that makes sense, because I'm against taking too much medication, and to do things that help my body more than work against my ability as well. So those have been, yeah, the tips. And then yeah, I think that's all I can think about for now. So I'll end off by saying thank you for watching, and I hope anything that I've shared in this video, it's a spontaneous one, nothing planned, has been of help. It's given you some insight to people who experience for now, and bye from me.